Whoa, you guys are Wiccans? Dusk gasped. I'm sorry, Nia stuttered. We promised we didn't mean to lie to you. Wicca's just a touchy religion where people think it's the same thing as witchcraft and... It's okay, Thorn reassured. I'm a Wiccan too. Oh my gosh, really? Sam exclaimed. Yeah, she is. Well, only 1/16 on her mother's side, Dusk laughed. She doesn't really practice it. Actually, it's pretty funny you mentioned it, Thorn chuckled. It started when I was reading a book on Wicca a couple nights ago. It seems like a really interesting religion, and maybe something I want to practice. You mean you have that same book that's been collecting dust on your nightstand, and since we moved in together? Luna inquired. Yeah, my dad reminded me of one of my shifts that my mom gave it to me, and I thought maybe it was time to finally give it a read, Thorn elaborated. That's such a relief, Bridget sighed happily, as if a huge load had been taken off of her shoulders. To be honest, we don't really tell too many people we're Wiccans, because people are so judgmental. They think all Wiccans are evil sorceresses or something. Tell me about it, Thorn rolled her eyes. If you want, we could teach you what we know about Wicca, Bridget offered. I can't guarantee we'll know everything, but we know some stuff. That'd be nice. So where did you get that charm, if you don't mind me asking? Thorn inquired. And why did you give it to me? Dusk added. Oh, Bridget chuckled. I got it from my mom. Well, directly from my mom but she died before I was born. But my dad gave it to me as a keepsake. My mom died too, Thorn admitted, unvulnerably present to her tone. I'm sorry. Having only one parent is always hard. I never knew my mom, but I'd do anything to meet her, Bridget sighed. I mean, if you want it back, I don't want to take it something that your mom gave to you. Dusk looked like she felt guilty. No, that's not what I meant, Bridget explained. It's a moldaviv, a Wicca charm that is supposed to bring good luck. When you guys found the charm after I lost it, I thought maybe fate intended for you to have it. Like you needed the good luck or something. You're such a talented band, and if not for you guys, who knows who would have found the charm. I can't think of anyone I would want to have the charm more than you. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thorn then placed her hand up to her heart. I'm honored that you gave this to me, Dusk smiled, showing a rare moment of invulnerability. Of course, and I'm really glad that the fact that we're Wiccans doesn't change how you think of us, Bridget replied. Not at all. In fact, I'm excited to learn more about the Wicca from you guys. Thorn smiled. Why don't you guys sit down and join us? Dusk suggested. I was just finishing up my shift anyway and about to have lunch. Oh my gosh, we would love that, Sam exclaimed. Maybe we could even teach you more about Wicca stuff while we eat, Nia offered. I'd love that, Thorn smiled. The weekend had come and gone, and another week had already begun. The girls had spent so much time of the weekend practicing for the Autumn Fest. They had just finished their work shifts throughout the week. Thorn was currently enjoying the leisurely lunch at Jack's with Luna, while they waited for Dusk to finish up her shift. As Thorn scribbled down something on the potential lyrics for her songs in her notebook, Luna interrupted her thoughts process. Whoa, I've had an idea for a song I wanted to tell you about, Luna suddenly remembered. I was thinking about last year's Autumn Fest. We already wrote a song about that, remember? Thorn reminded, referring to the witch's ghost. Yeah, but that was about Sarah, Luna vaguely said. She obviously didn't want anyone to be overly obvious, as a few people in town had witnessed Sarah Ravencroft return from the grave, that she had kept relatively quiet about it. Mostly because they didn't want people to think we were crazy. I was thinking about we could write a song about those 4 people and their dog and that we met. Oh yeah, they were interesting people. It's not every day you met professional mystery solvers. Thorn lightly chuckled. That line Ben said had stuck in my mind. Meddling kids, Luna said. I was thinking that could be the title, or something like Those Meddling Kids. I really like that idea, Thorn smiled. The song very much felt like they were sharing an experience that they had with the world, which was the black haired goth's favorite type of song to write. I was thinking we could start off like something like this. Here comes those meddling kids. Luna's voice, as quiet was singing, was cut off by Dusk's arrival at the dinner table. Alright, I'm ready. Dusk slapped her pink apron off, and she was wearing an old t-shirt from last year's Autumn Fest, which read, I met the ghost of Oakhaven and lived. The statement was quite true, ironically. We could write more about it later. We've got to get to that meeting with Gus at 2, Thorn said. I like that line though. Thanks, Luna exclaimed. Thorn quite liked the idea of having to write a song about the mystery-solving people they met. They were currently quite a unique group, that was for sure. It felt like it had been forever since Thorn didn't drive the soccer mom van, given that it seemed the arrangement that worked out for best when driving to work. This time, Luna drove the vehicle while Dusk sat in the passenger seat and Thorn had sat at the back. Thorn didn't really mind being wedged up against the instruments. She was just quite happy she had a break from the driving. Luna was currently in the process of explaining her song idea to Dusk, right as they pulled into the parking space at the Decade Records. Yeah, I really would dig that, Dusk nodded, getting out of the car and grabbing her drum set. They had brought their instruments just in case Gus wanted them to play again. Then something happened that Thorn would never have expected. She realized that she felt like a normal routine. She no longer felt the butterflies in her stomach of what this record producer was going to say to them. Gus was now their manager and record producer, and a meeting with him felt like a regular task. In fact, instead of being jittery and worried about if Gus liked their music, she was excited about the meeting and looking forward to hearing his high insights. The girls slogged into the building at a slow pace, carrying the heavy instruments into Gus's office. It was a relief of reaching Gus's office, as it would allow Thorn to set her instrument down and knock the door. Come in, Gus's voice called from behind the wooden door. Hey Gus, Thorn waved, feeling a sense of relief as she set the instrument down on the ground and sat in a cushioned chair. Hello girls, how are you groovy goths doing? Gus inquired, with a hint of lighthearted and playfulness in his voice. We're really good. We just got invited to play. Dusk's voice was cut off by Gus. The Autumn Fest? Yeah, I heard. That's quite exciting. I'm sure you girls are going to be quite busy this week practicing, Gus presumed. Yeah, plus we got a concert at Jack's tomorrow night, Dusk informed. Ford admittedly had forgotten about the concert at Jack's was coming up so soon. There had been so much going on lately, Ford felt a bit more scattered-brained than usual. That it sounds like quite a busy week. You girls certainly have a lot of happening lately. In fact, I wanted to start our meeting by informing you of another thing going on. I looked into the comparatively at the radio ad schedule, where the radio stations add new songs to their playlist, and I wanted you girls to look it over with me, Gus explained. Okay, Thorn was surprised on how easy the process was. Next week we've got a release from one of our biggest artists. Then 2 huge artists from another label are sending their songs for ads next week. It looks like the following week isn't any much better, as a number of popular artists are pushing their songs to the radio that week, Gus said in a disappointed manner. Wait, pushing to radio? Sending for ads? Luna looked confused. Oh, my apologies. I forgot that you are quite versed at the music industry language yet. Pushing the radio and sending ads are pretty much the same thing, Gus elaborated. It just means promoting the song to radio stations in an attempt to get them to add it to their station's playlist on that date. Oh, okay, that makes sense, Luna nodded. Thanks. When would be a good day for sending our ads for songs then? Thorne inquired. Well, Gus eyed the schedule again. Ironically, this week doesn't have that many releases. The only things on schedule are Cowgirls, Beer, and Trucks by Farmer Jones, and Bitches and Henry by Lil Stereotype. They really allowed that last one to be played on the radio? Dusk's jaw dropped like a little shock. Well, they will play the clean version, Witches and Kenny. They've done quite a fine job replacing the references to promiscuous woman and binge drinking the story about witches and curious little boy named Kenny, Gus explained. Works quite well, surprisingly. So you're saying that we should send our song to the radio this week? Thorne looked shocked. That's only in a couple of days. Well, in fact, the radio ads are Tuesday, so if you want me to, I'm ready to push Hex Girl tomorrow, Gus said. If you can make that decision by the end of this meeting, I can get it on the ad schedule before the end of the day. Is there any other decision? Thorne looked at Dusk and Luna. I don't think so, Dusk excitedly replied. When are we going to have the opportunity like this again? Yeah, I said it will send it for ads, Luna agreed with her two bandmates. Well, it's decided then, Gus smiled. Your song will be sent to the radio tomorrow. I believe you've heard about the news stations have already began playing Hex Girl, correct? Yes, Thorne confirmed. We're really excited. I'm glad. Now, since it's been over a week since we last met, I wanted to ask you how your album's coming. Do you still have the 7 songs finished? Gus asked. Actually, it's now 8. We just started working on the 9th one today, in fact, Thorne proudly informed. Wonderful! Do you have any ideas for the remaining songs? Gus inquired. Not yet, I don't think. Thorne's proud tone became a little bit more subdued. That's perfectly okay. If you didn't, I wanted to make some suggestions. I suggested the idea for covers. Have you ever thought about covers? Gus wondered out loud. Well, we're just thinking about it. It would be a picture of all 3 of us looking super gothy and... Dusk began, before Gus interrupted. No, not album covers, Gus corrected. I'm talking about covering songs from other artists, as in creating your own version. Oh no, we haven't thought about that, Thorne admitted. You certainly don't have to. Just maybe give it some time though, Gus advised. Goth and punk music are one of the most unique types of music in my opinion, and I think it'd be quite interesting to hear you girls provide your own interpretation on popular song. I think that'd be wicked, Dusk blurted. Yeah, it'd be so cool to remake another artist's songs in our own style. Thanks for the suggestion, Gus, Thorne appreciated. Of course, girls, Gus smiled. The other thing I want to discuss with you is your album release strategy. Have you ever thought about how soon you want to release your album once you've finished it? The Hex Girls all looked at each other blankly. I don't know. What do you think? Dusk said uncertainty to Gus. Girls, I'd like to think me as your mentor. Gus's tone became more serious. Some labels want to dominate their artists and call the shots. My philosophy is that the artists that always know what's best for their music. You can have a huge team of people helping you with your music, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to believing your music and putting all that work for yourself. It's not about what I want. What do you want? That's a really good advice, Thorne said in awe, even though she had realized she hadn't answered the question. I think we're gonna just asking for what artists typically do, Luna elaborated Dusk's earlier question. Music is an art of authority. It's what you have to say as an artist, Gus philosophized. To answer your question, some artists take up to 8 to 9 months to put out an album once it's finished. I also had a band that had been putting out a song the day they finished it. I don't want you to think about other artists though. I want you to come up with the album strategy that feels something you're proud of. Gus paused for a moment before resumed talking. I don't want you girls to feel that you have to give me an answer today. This is something you could think about. We'll talk about it the next time we meet. Gus resumed speaking. Another option is seeing how your first single goes. Sometimes it can build excitement. If an artist receives an album quickly after the first single becomes successful. You've given us a lot to think about, Gus, Thorne replied, unsure of what else to say. She had never had really seriously thought about a strategy to release their album. The band just had assumed that they would release an album whenever they finished. Well, please do think about it. That's your assignment for the next meeting, Gus instructed, in a light-hearted way. It was nice seeing you girls today. It was nice seeing you too, Thorne replied. I was thinking we could set it as a permanent meeting every week, if you up for it. I think it would be helpful for you girls to have space where you can ask me any questions you may have about releasing an album, Gus offered. Yeah, I think that'd be helpful, Luna nodded. Yeah, we'll work on in the morning, so we would need to be somewhere after 1, Dusk added. How about every Thursday at 2? Gus suggested. That'll be perfect, Thorne agreed. Then it's settled. You girls have a busy enough schedule this week, so let's start off with the meetings next Thursday, Gus planned. Good luck at the Autumn Fest, by the way. I'll be there, so I'll have to stop by and say hi after the performance. Thanks, Luna, appreciate it. We look forward to it, Thorne smiled. And with that, the girls headed out of Gus's office and went home after a long day, knowing that tomorrow would be an even longer one. Thorne was beginning to like the routine of eating lunch that she had packed every day for Jax, while waiting for Dusk's shift to conclude. She and Luna had used their spare time to work on those meddling kids, the song that Luna had suggested every day. Luna had scribbled something down on the lyric ideas for the notebook. Thorne leaned over her shoulder and looked at the lyrics. When it comes, seems like there's no one left to call now. It seems like there's no left at all now, Thorne read. I like it. Very angsty. I do too, but I do feel like it needs something at the beginning. Luna credited her own work. The songstresses were interrupted by Jack coming out with the back of 2 orders of large tray platter. From what Thorne could see, it looked like a hamburger with some soups. Hey girls, working on another song? Jack asked, stopping for a brief second. Yeah, maybe we'll even be able to perform it here tonight, if we finish it in time, Luna said. She was quite shy around most people, other than her bandmates and family, but she seemed to be slightly more comfortable around Jack than other people. Great, well you girls are welcome to stay here until the concert if you want, Jack invited. I'm happy to brew up some coffee on the house, if you like. That'd be great, Jack, Thorne warmly smiled. Wonderful. Let me just get these orders delivered and I'll go tell Dusk to brew you up some coffee, Jack informed, as he raced off to the table to give their meals to them. We're gonna need a lot of coffee if we're gonna write this song today. We just wanted to talk about the album release strategy too, once Dusk is here, Thorne remembered. Hey, do you really think we could perform our new songs? We just performed those 6 songs we've had forever. Do we need to switch up the list a little? Well, I don't think we should perform all of them. Maybe just one of them to give people a little more tease that the new music is coming, Luna suggested. Like everyone's actually paying attention, Thorne laughed. Those radio stations are. They picked up a song before and even went for the ads, Luna reminded. I mean, I guess, Thorne shrugged, even though she knew they were beginning to look up on how they could sign for a record deal. It still didn't seem like anyone was actually paying any attention. Thorne and Luna looked over to see Dusk, struggling to balance a platter of 3 cups of coffee and a pot of coffee. Here's your coffee, guys, Dusk said. She poured a cup for Luna. I just wanted to warn you, it's a little stronger than the milkshakes with the drop of coffee you usually drink. I've had coffee before, Dusk. Luna rolled her eyes. Okay, if you say so. I could bring in the Femos for the creamer if you're scared, Dusk further teased. Well, I was gonna ask for cream and sugar, but now I'm getting to drink it straight out just to spite you, Thorne laughed. Dusk handed Thorne her cup before pouring herself one. Unfortunately for her, the cup fell off the platter and she perched down. It shattered into a dozen of pieces on the floor. Ah! Dusk growled. Aw, not again, Dusk. Fawn tried to hold back her giggles. Shut up! Dusk said in a half-irritated, half-playful manner. She went back to retrieve the broom and get a new cup. Yeah, anyways, we need to confirm with Dusk about when she sweeps that up. But I'm fine with performing that song if we could finish it. Fawn agreed. Dusk quickly hurried back with the broom before someone could step on the broken pieces of the cup. Dusk, if we could finish this new song today, do you think we should perform it? Fawn asked. Finish it today? Dusk exclaimed in surprise. That's a tight margin, but I guess if we do, sure. We better get to work then. Well, once you do sweep that up, of course. Fawn then tried to hold back her giggles. It seemed like poor Dusk just couldn't get the hang of the waitressing. Here, come those meddling kids. Fawn read that line that she just written in her lyrics notebook. What do you think about ending the song like that? I like it, Dusk added. It feels very full circle at the end with the first line with the chorus, Luna agreed. Fawn then looked up at her clock at the back of the wall of the restaurant, which read 4:54. The girls were set to perform at 5:30. And that's how you write a song for 4 hours? Fawn said, setting her pen down in a silly trumpet on the table. Hold on, we're not done yet, Dusk deserted. Let's read it over one more time before we perform it. Before we do that, though, let's quickly talk about the album release thing, Fawn suggested. Wait a second, Fawn, slow down, Luna urged for the black-haired goth to pause. The album's release strategy is something that we should take some time to think, though. I don't want it to mean rude, but you're always trying to rush things and you could just say you have them done. It's not a race. Attention to detail is important. Yeah, I guess. Fawn hung her head, feeling a bit embarrassed, but only because she recognized the truth in Luna's words. She occasionally rushed her work because she wanted to feel productive, rather than just taking the time to ensure that it was perfect as she wanted to be. I'm glad you're seeing what I'm saying. Let's talk about it another day, when we have more time, Luna answered. Okay, Fawn nodded, hoping that she wasn't blushing. It was ironic because Luna was usually a soft-spoken, shy one. But Fawn always got quiet whenever she felt that she screwed up, or didn't live up to someone's expectations of her. We should probably get set up, Dusk pointed out at the clock, which now read 4:58. Yeah, we probably should, Fawn abruptly said. Oh, I'm sorry, Fawn, Luna apologized. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings or anything. You didn't. Everything's fine, Fawn curtly replied. I promise. Fawn wasn't lying when she said this earlier. It usually just took her a bit to recover. The distraction of the concert would be helpful. The patrons were starting to file into Jack's. Fawn wasn't really sure if it was to see them play or just eat dinner, but she always had a tendency to assume the latter. Did you all finish up with the new song you girls are working on? Jack asked as he passed by their booth. We did, Dusk revealed. You'll have to hear it at the concert tonight. Well, if it's anything like the other music you girls put it out, I'm sure it will be amazing, Jack complimented. I can't wait to hear it. Looks like we're gonna have a decent audience. Luna looked around at all the people currently sitting at the tables. Even if they weren't especially to hear the girls, they would have at least have 20 audience members by the looks of it. Fawn saw a couple of familiar faces that caught the Bridget's wavy pink hair. Hey, Bridget looked especially excited. She looked even more elevated than usual, which was definitely saying something, given how excitable the pink-haired girl could be. Hey, boy, we have some news for you, Nia exclaimed. What's that? Fawn inquired, as she took out her guitar of the case for performance. My dad just told me that the ads reports came back. Hexed got added to the playlist at the top top 40 radio stations, Bridget exclaimed. Not to mention that the 2 rock stations and the one of the hot adult complimentary one, and your song didn't even get promoted there yet. 15? Dusk shouted in surprise. How is that even possible? Luna gasped. I'll tell you how it's possible. People love your music, Sam reminded. My dad said by the end of the week, your song will be likely played up to 100 times on the radio. And that's not counting any of the times being played in the previous weeks, Bridget added. 100 times? Thorne's jaw dropped. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to remind you girls that you've only got 15 minutes until the performance. Jack pointed out the clock. We better get set up then. Thorne suddenly felt invigorated. We can't let our fans down. Here come those meddling kids, the girls all sang as they concluded the song. And that was our brand new song, Those Meddling Kids. Now we want to perform our most popular songs, Hex Girl, which just got added to the playlist of 15 different radio stations today, Thorne informed. The comment was met by some exciting clapping. I'm gonna cast a spell on you, Thorne sang, while the others continued singing. Her attention became more just vivid when she saw a man in a fancy suit enter the restaurant. It appeared to be he was talking to Bridget, which caused her to point to the girls on stage. I'm a hex girl, and I'm gonna put a spell on you. Thorne continued to sing, as the other two girls responded with the echo of the last phase. The black-haired goth wondered for a moment if the suited man was going to interrupt their performance. But her question was answered when the man sat down next to Bridget, Nia, and Sam. Thorne had immediately been distracted at the singing the words without really paying attention to the crispiness of each word that she normally did. In fairness, this was the song that they had performed the most out of any song, so it wasn't like the girls would forget a word. Once she realized the man had sat down, her focus shifted back into singing. You'll wake up in the dead of night, missing me when I'm out of sight, Thorne performed. Just then her eyes shifted back to the same student man. He seemed to be observing them very closely. Thorne didn't feel unsafe. She wondered why the man had his eyes glued on the girls. We're gonna put a spell on all of you, Thorne, Dusk, and Luna chanted in an illusion as the audience began to clap. Thank you so much for coming here out tonight, and if you want to see us perform again soon, we'll be performing at the Autumn Fest this Friday at 6 p.m., Thorne informed. Have a safe drive home, everyone. Excuse me, miss, a man's voice asked. The black-haired woman was half expecting it to be a man in the suit, but it turned out it was someone she was more familiar with. It was the same elderly gentleman who had just told him a few weeks ago that they could sound like Don Knotts with a little more practice. Do you girls have any cassette tapes or records I could buy? The old man questioned. I haven't heard such groovy jams since Martha and I liked Ella LaFizzica in college. No, I'm sorry, Thorne apologized. We're working on an album now, though, and hopefully we'll have it out soon. Oh, that's quite all right. Come on, Martha. The old man called to his wife and he headed for the door. Excuse me, ladies. Thorne heard a voice of a rather much younger sounding man. Turning around, and she saw that the man in the suit had been watching them closely. My name is Derek Johnson, and I am with the Larcom Theater in Salem, the man introduced himself. I've been listening to your music, and you've got some real talent. If you girls would be interested, I would love to invite you to play to our show at our theater next Wednesday at 7 in Salem. Oh my gosh, we'd love that, Thorne exclaimed. That'd be wicked, Dusk agreed. Thank you so much, sir, Luna appreciated. You're very welcome. The only catch is that you need your own transportation, Derek warned. Oh, that's no problem, Thorne answered. We can easily drive there. Wonderful, Derek said. I'll see you then. Holy shit, we've got a gig in Salem, Dusk gasped. I can't believe it. Everything's just happening all at once, Luna responded in disbelief. The girls could barely contain their excitement. Between getting jobs, releasing their first single, having their single being played on the radio, being invited to play in the Autumn Fest, and now booking at a concert in Salem was something that the girls never even thought of as a possibility just a few weeks ago.